I'm on Main Street in downtown Darlington, where the sun is starting to go down, but the water level continues to rise. And even in parking lots and sidewalks where things might not look that slippery, they still can be. And while workers here in Fort Wayne, Indiana are continuing to picket, some of them are coming from further than others. And today, the ban is inside, but neighbors who live back behind the bar say the noise is something that they can just not stand. And freezing rain's been coming down pretty consistently all day long here in Rock County, which has actually led leaders here in this neighborhood to close it off.
Fans out here at Miller Park getting ready with the pregame festivities and the tailgating, and you could not have asked for a more beautiful weather setting.
Police say it started shortly after 9 a.m. today. That's when they say 39-year-old Floyd Brown shot and killed a McHenry County Sheriff's deputy. Joe Nyer was just trying to watch the Badger game in his garage turned man cave.
I have TV in there, refrigerator, heated garage.
A simple afternoon in his town of Beloit home made much more complicated just around halftime.
And here from the truck to my roof.
Airborne and front bumper first from the sky to just feet away. Joe and the driver of the truck face to face.
He didn't know what happened. He didn't know where he was or anything.
Officer Andy Arnold, one of the first on the scene.
Well, obviously you're concerned about the safety of the occupants of the residents and safety of the occupants of the vehicle.
It's unclear whether the driver, who is spending tonight with police, was intoxicated or suffering from a medical emergency when he careened off South Park Road into a ditch and took his 3,000-pound truck into the air like a skateboard off of a half pipe. Joe couldn't and still can't believe it.
And he said, no, he was fine. And he tried to get out of the truck. I told him to stay in there because the truck was on such a steep angle.
And neither can police, who were eventually able to get the truck out and make sure everyone was safe. Both Joe and Officer Arnold say this moment, something they'll never forget.
I don't know, this was lucky. We had a guy watching, watching football, enjoying a beer in his garage on a Saturday, and it's all about feet and inches sometimes, feet and inches.
Forward, 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 Madison!
The songs of summer over a late spring snowstorm. Today, nothing could stop the flock.
Summer day, fall day, it doesn't matter. We're going to bring the passion, the absolute experience, and the love for the game. That's what we bring every day. It doesn't matter what the weather is.
The Flamingos making their home debut today at Breese-Stevens Field. How are the fans feeling?
This is one of the better days of my life.
But surely with all the snow, they're still cold, right?
I wore too many layers. I'm going to have to lose one of these halfway through the game, probably.
A march down East Wash, the first of many.
We are going to take our banners and our flags, and we are going to walk to the stadium.
Signifying the flock is finally home. And while soccer has made its way to Wisconsin, these fans wouldn't have it any other way. The Mingos home opener, one they'll never forget.
Remember that first game when it was, 30 degrees outside and it was snowing. There was the risk of a whiteout. And I'm sure, as it goes on down the years, there'll be a little bit of some little editing of the story. And it was it was the worst snowstorm we ever had. And
I known what was going to happen, get this high, I would have done it completely different.
Josh Coyo and his friends have become somewhat of master sandbaggers.
Added a few feet, then added a few feet, and then added a few feet.
Getting the practice down to a science.
So then he takes the tractor, puts a bucket of sand on here, lift it off. There's 10 bags done.
It's been 8 months now they've been doing this along the Coyo's home near Grass Lake in Milton.
October last year is when it kind of started getting high.
And the water still isn't stopping.
In December and January, and then started snowing, and then when the snow's melting, it's raining. All it does is rain, it seems like right now.
In nearly a decade of living on Grass Lake, Coyo says he and his family have never experienced anything this bad. While his situation is rare, the DNR says he's not alone.
Our water levels are still higher than normal with all the rain that we had last fall and early this spring.
The sheer amount of rain and melting snow, at times, making the situation a little frustrating.
You'd think, someone would give you an answer, but no one does. You call the county or you call whoever, what can I do? But no one wants to tell you because I imagine they don't know either.
But Coyo says more than anything, it's about keeping the water on the right side of the bags.
Which the bags don't look high here, but that's because I got probably this much rock right here to walk on.
Until it eventually goes away.
I don't want it to get in the house or in the garage. Just trying to keep the house and garage dry.
Okay, here was the steps.
As Bubba Smith walks the perimeter of his Mineral Point home,
Was supposed to do, or he did.
he can still point out each and every mistake
There's a little step there. This step.
that he says started this whole problem. This summer, he and his girlfriend Michelle Leahy were looking to get work done on their home.
I thought it'd be nice to have an outdoor space.
But the work that was done wasn't up to par, with sloped and uneven back steps and a patio open to the elements.
As you can see, the dirt's more or less washing out.
The two took to Facebook to post their issues, but also took it one step further, refusing to make the final payments until the work was done and done right.
At one point, he started to message Bubba and say that he wanted his last payment, and I said no, he's not getting that until the work is done correctly.
Monday night, the person doing the work came back.
We both heard the knock, and she went and got it, and I just heard this scream.
That's when he allegedly turned his anger to Michelle.
And I opened the door, and instantly he was just on me and pummeling me.
That night, Mineral Point police arrested Jason Hansen on substantial battery charges. But just days after, Hansen is out of jail after he posted bail.
What is he going to do next time? If he was that angry about that, what is he going to be like when all of this comes out and he's been arrested?
Knowing that he's out there, that he could come back at any moment and do it over, or even worse.
Mineral Point police say they're still investigating. But for Michelle and Bubba, it's the uncertainty of what could happen while they do.
Given he's so unpredictable, I don't know what might happen next. It has not been easy.